Let's bring in Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama. Senator, good to see you, if we could see you right now. There you are. Good to see you, Senator. I want to go to this point that Chuck Schumer was making today, calling Republicans the party of chaos when we look at 3 years of Joe Biden's presidency, and Democrats trying to claim that they're the party of border security when they have destroyed the secure border that Donald Trump gave them. Your take.
Yeah, what a clown. This is unbelievable. We've gone through 3 years of open borders. The American taxpayers have been overrun. We're bankrupt. People are dying because of fentanyl, human trafficking. It is absolutely amazing. And then Rand Paul is exactly right. Since when do we owe everybody else money instead of taking care of ourselves? It's absolutely criminal what they tried to push through right after they lost the border bill. Then they tried to push through the $100 billion giveaway to Ukraine, and you know, I'm all for giving money to Israel, but Ukraine, they can't win. We're just throwing money away.
I'm really glad you brought that up because as time has passed and the dollar signs start to mount when it comes to Ukraine, the president takes the podium the other day. He's talking about trying to pass this bill. He talks about the border first after he criticizes Donald Trump. And then he gets to the Ukraine aid part and basically says, we can't walk away from it now. And to a certain degree, he's right, because we're so invested at this point. It's very difficult to walk away. And this is what so many people warned of when he didn't use any deterrence strategy to try to back Vladimir Putin off. And so now here we are, hundreds of billions of dollars.
You can throw all this back to Joe Biden. He can't negotiate anything. We should have been negotiating with Putin all along. We forced NATO on Putin. But at the end of the day, everybody said, we got to give them money now. You don't have any money. Wait a minute. I mean, if we were to pass this and give them money, it would take months to get anything to them. And by the way, we're out of munitions here in the United States, but EU just gave them 50 billion euros. What about that? How about them paying for what they need to pay and taking the American taxpayer out of it for a little while and see how they do? But again, this is all about, number one, start at the border. We have to stop people coming in the border. Kyrsten Sinema is an Arizona senator, and she's allowed 10 million people come across the borders, and it's partly her fault.
No, it is partially her fault, but it seems like we got great conservative senators, smart people. The problem is we don't have a good leader in the Senate who's driving the Senate, I think, in the right direction. That's my take, Senator. I want to ask you to comment on that, but I do want to get your take on this because you mentioned Senator Sinema from Arizona. She was calling out lawmakers who don't live along the border earlier today. Listen to this.
I'm going to continue to remind my colleagues of the consequences of their decision. Look, it may not be a consequence for them living in some state in the interior of the country, but in Arizona, this isn't politics, guys. This is our daily life. And I am incredibly disappointed that people have chosen politics over the lives of the families, the farmers, the ranchers, and folks living every day in southern Arizona.
You know, Senator Kyrsten Sinema, maybe she doesn't get national news in Arizona, but if you follow national news, it is not a border state issue. It's an American. Every state is dealing with this border surge. What do you say to Senator Sinema?
Well, by the way, we have the laws on the books. Just go by the laws we have on the books. Close the border down. Joe Biden could stop it in the next 5 seconds. He could make one telephone call and stop it, but he doesn't want to do it. He wouldn't do it if we passed every law in the world. He would not close the border because he's a globalist. He wants this country overrun like Europe's being overrun. He wants to put the pressure on the taxpayers. He wants voters. That's exactly what he wants. He's not going to close it down. We're wasting our time. We need to go on with life and try to fix something else up here that needs to be fixed.
And the Republicans aren't playing politics if they simply won't vote for what they perceive to be as a bad bill. Senator, thank you so much for being here.